Hello, everyone. My name is Grant. I am a field manager here with the Digital Summer Clinic, and today I am joined with Jenn Hayman. Jenn is the Senior Vice President of Marketing, Communications, and Events at Ann Arbor Spark. Before we begin, I'd like to thank all of our guests for joining us today, watching our digital live. And I'd also like to remind all of our guests that if you have any questions during the entire event, by all means, post a question in the comment section down below, and I'll be sure to get to them at the end of the interview. And also, as another last minute reminder, before we begin, I'd also like to share that our digital summer workshop will be going on November 18th. And our theme this year is hybrid marketing. The digital marketing workshop we are hosting will be joined by speakers from Google, Pinterest, Nochi, Common Citizen, and others. We'll be providing breakfast and lunch during the event. And I actually just posted the link to register for our event in the comment sections down below. It should be an amazing opportunity filled with great learning experiences and networking opportunities. And we look forward to seeing everyone there, but don't wait because tickets are selling out really fast. So get on it. So Jenn, welcome.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
It's great having you here. So give us a quick introduction. Tell us about yourself. Give us a little history on what has led you to where you are today and how you began your journey at Spark.
All right. Well, it's a bit of a meandering story, but I will try to keep it brief. So I joined Spark about 6 months ago. It's been a busy 6 months, but it wasn't my first interaction with Spark. So going back, I actually am a graduate of EMU. So big fan of the program overall. I graduated there with the international marketing degree in the first year that they had introduced that program. So worked there, worked in different marketing positions throughout IT, telecom, different industries, whatnot, and just kind of learning my way through. And, marketing is such a big, wide world that I had the opportunity to dabble in a lot of sort of bits of it to figure out what resonated with me and what parts of it I really liked. And so that was really helpful. And then I went off to Scotland to do my MBA. Lived over there for a while, which was amazing. Hoping to go back someday if plane ticket prices ever come back down.
That'd be super fun.
I know, it's so beautiful if you've never been. And then came back to the States and kind of re-entered the marketing field and got more experience with different industries and different roles, kind of gained more PR experience, which was really helpful. That was something that I always really loved about marketing. So my most recent sort of Ann Arbor kind of positions, we've been in Ann Arbor for a long time, but I came to know Spark, and so I suppose Spark came to know me when I worked for Zingerman's. So I led the marketing team there at Zingerman's. That our team, a very small but busy and very talented team, did everything from websites to flyers to labels to brand identities to just everything you could think of for all the different Zingerman's businesses. So that was a fascinating experience, and I had the opportunity to work with amazing designers and illustrators and writers, and so that was really, really great. When I was there is how I kind of came onto Spark's radar, and started participating in the digital marketing workshop. And so that was my first sort of foray into the clinic and their work with Spark and getting to know that ecosystem. So fast forward a few years, I spent some time at U of M and Human Element, which is a digital e-commerce agency here in Ann Arbor. And then recently joined Spark, which kind of felt full circle because when I was a mentor for an executive in residence for the clinic, for the digital summer clinic, I got to know a little bit about what Spark does and just really, was really impressed by it and thought that they were just such a cool group of people doing amazing work in the city. And so I got to years later join it. So it feels very serendipitous that I'm with Spark now.
That's super cool that it definitely came full circle.
Yeah.
That Scotland thing's pretty neat. That's a really cool experience. I would totally love an experience like that if I could go.
Yeah, I always encourage my kids. I'm like, when you start thinking about kind of figuring out what you want to do, or even if you don't know yet, even just do a semester abroad is so incredibly valuable. I just think you gain so much from it, even outside of the classroom. Just, being in new environments and around new people and learning from other people traveling around you is just it's really fulfilling.
You can definitely learn a lot from others. I've definitely learned a lot from being, in the Army for 6 years. There's so many cool experiences that I got to see and people I got to meet from all over the world. So I totally feel you on that one.
Yeah.
So, for people who don't know, could you tell us a little bit more about what Ann Arbor Spark is and does for anyone who might be wondering?
Yeah, it's so funny because we are so integral to the success of Ann Arbor, and I'm so proud of that, and I'm so proud to be a part of that team. And yet I don't think that a lot of people that don't interact with us know what we do. So Spark's role and mission is overall to advocate for and support Washtenaw County. So we do that by with all sorts of things, by supporting startups with our incubator, and all the business mentoring that goes along with that, business expansion, so helping big companies that are coming in that are looking to locate here in Washtenaw County and hire people. We help them to find a space and make sure that they understand the value proposition of doing that in Ann Arbor and what we have to offer. Um, Internships like the digital summer clinic that we're part of, and super proud of that. Generally connecting the community with tech, with others in their network, and we do that with different events like Ann Arbor A2 Tech 360, which just happened recently.
It's a really
We've
cool event.
got It is. We've got Tech Homecoming coming up the night before Thanksgiving. So if you are a job seeker, definitely come to Spark's website and check out Tech Homecoming. So yeah, we do a lot, but really the whole point of it is to raise awareness on a national level of Ann Arbor as a place to locate your business for R&D, as a great place that if you're a startup business, that we have the support and the resources to help you, that we really want Ann Arbor to thrive and grow and evolve so that it's continuously relevant, in the talent space and for people to live and work here.
I see. That's really cool. I definitely appreciate what everything Ann Arbor Spark does. Of course, I'm aware of what they are, but just for everyone else who's wondering, it's a really good program, and it's definitely something that you should check out if you're interested.
Absolutely.
So, according to your LinkedIn, I see that you have, with your deep history in marketing, based on what you said now, and just sort of
Mm.
seeing kind of your credentials on there, what are some of the best qualities that make a good marketer?
Mm. I don't know if they are unique to marketing, but I think that these qualities definitely serve you if you are pulled to marketing. So I've always said that one of the reasons why I liked marketing. So as somebody that kind of knew that they wanted to go into business, wasn't really sure what aspect of it to go into, knew what I wasn't good at, knew what I was good at, knew what I liked, what I didn't like. The thing about marketing, though, that really drew me was the fact that it's always changing, that it's always something different. You're not making the same widget every day. It's just so varied, and that keeps it really interesting. And so I think that if you are inquisitive and resourceful and you like to be collaborative with other people, I think that you would do really well in a marketing role. I think that it requires that you keep an open mind and you have the ability to be nimble, when things inevitably go wrong when you're doing an event, or a speaker pulls out at the ninth hour, which is super fun, or just or a new technology comes out that you get to now add to your toolkit, and all these different opportunities to change and to evolve all the time. I think that if that appeals to somebody, then there's so many different roles within the world of marketing that would be a really good fit.
I see, definitely. There's a big broad brush with marketing, totally. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a job for you out there somewhere if you're looking.
Yeah, I mean,
Obviously,
it
I'm a
could be really
marketing person.
technical. It could be, in digital marketing, and you can get into like the technical SEO if you really, love, all of the back end, all the way into, I mean, everything falls in, truly everything is marketing, right? Because it's all part of what is conveyed to the world about your brand. And so it might be that you are a great storyteller, you're a great writer, or you love to design, or, I mean, there's so many different ways that you can be employed in the world of marketing that it really, yeah, it's a very open field, which I think is great.
So, going on to my next question. So, while being a part of Spark, what are some of the challenges that you face daily, or what are some of like the big ones that maybe aren't daily?
Yeah, I mean, I think like anybody, it's Spark. So one of the things that our team works on, amongst other things, recently launched a new website, and all the different things that we do, and all the different stories that we tell. But we put on a lot of events. We have a lot of virtual events. We have a lot of in-person events. Some of some are quite big, and some are smaller, more intimate events. But like anybody, we compete for audiences. So I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges. And again, not unique to us, but we are always competing for attention. So, it could be competing locally with something else that's going on in Ann Arbor, or it could be with something that's going on outside of the city into Detroit, or even something national. But you're always competing for your audience's attention. So always trying to get those eyeballs, always trying to get, that ticket sale sort of thing. We have so much information we want to share with people and opportunities that we want to put in front of them. And, we know it's in their best interest to come to our event. But how do we,
How do you get them there?
how do you
Got to
get them
get
there?
them
How do
committed.
you, absolutely, absolutely. How do you fight with all of the other noise that is in front of them and make sure that the value of that thing that you're putting in front of them resonates and translates? Another one, there's a couple others. I think that, the variety of initiatives that we have going on, just speaking specifically to the team that I manage, that's, again, not unique to us, but it's sort of like one of those, problems that a lot of marketing teams have, is that you are responsible for a lot of different kinds of things. And so how do you keep track of it all? How do you prioritize the right things? How do you make sure that you're doing a good job, that you're looking back and looking at the results of something, adjusting and not just kind of going on rote? I think that that's, something you have to be really intentional about, not just sort of like doing the same playbook that you did last year. And, how can you iterate and keep it interesting and, always challenge and evolve. And that sort of, I guess, then for us, the whole reason that we would adapt and evolve anything is because the needs of the community change, or what the community needs from Spark and how we can support it. And so just always being attentive to the needs of the community and how we can serve up the right content and the right events and the right programming and the right resources to help them. And I think that that's always going to be a challenge, because that is the point of Spark.
Yeah,
It's also the fun of it.
definitely going through and cutting through the forest of just trying to figure everything out when you really have no basis to jump off of. I mean, you might have techniques that people have done in the past that might
Yep.
have helped, but every situation is new and something that you have to trudge through to figure out. So that's definitely a good insight and something I'm going to, keep in mind, including our audience. So I have a couple of user questions that I thought we should get through here.
Okay.
So the first question says, you've lived through the transition from excuse me, let me repeat this one. You have lived through the transition from mainly traditional to largely digital marketing. How do you see your role having evolved?
That's a good question. I think it doesn't matter what role you're in and what industry you're in. If you want to be successful, and I think it comes down to, if you really like what you do, and I'm really lucky to get to do what I like, then you have to always be willing to learn. And so inevitably, in any job that's new, you might think that you look at that job description and every bullet point on there. It's like, yes, I've done that in a certain way, right? But every company does it different, or their goals for it are different, or their processes are different. or maybe they shouldn't be doing that anymore. So those sort of things. So I think you're just it's always learning, you know. I mean, there's things that um you know, my roles in marketing have largely evolved with the marketing world. And so, you know, by that, here's what I mean. So my first marketing job, and this, I am old, so this will date me, but my first marketing job was working for a company that provided PIN numbers for students living in dorm rooms so that they could differentiate their phone bills from their roommates. So this is pre-cell phone. You know, and so for that, it's like, okay, well, think about the world that you're marketing in, right? Like, what are the tactics, what are the levers that you pull to get those messages out? And some of it is still the same that you do now. You get out in front of people, you understand what their needs are, you try to speak to the why. But you know, we would literally physically go around the country and on campus and, you know, show them how to do this, and this is the program your school has adopted, so here's how you use it, and blah blah blah. You know, all the way until, you know, and then being at Zingerman's, we, you know, really depended on the business. So some of the Zingerman's businesses were very digital. Obviously, like Zingerman's mail order has their website. So that was their primary vehicle, was everything was digital to talk about what's going on. And then the catalogs and whatnot were a physical product. So it's just really, you know, I don't think there's a single tactic that if you just adopt that one, it's relevant to a business. I think you have to apply all of those no matter what you're doing, because you have to get in front of people in 10 different ways for them to remember you. So, you know, I don't know that I feel like my role has necessarily changed. It's just that there's more tools available in the toolkit now, which is awesome. And that means sometimes that I need to school myself on how to use this, or you know, if I'm going to be evaluating it to find out if it's successful, then I need to understand at least enough about it, of like, what are the results I'm looking for. So, you know, it's just constant learning and evolution. And I don't know, that's something that I appreciate about it. I would get really, really bored if it was just the same old every day.
I definitely think this line of work can really keep you sharp, if that's a good way of
Yeah,
putting it.
it
You're always
does.
having to evolve and you change
Absolutely.
everything you do.
Yeah.
So another question we have is, what is the current marketing mix you manage?
You know, tactics that we do.
Sure.
Well, I mean, so our team is responsible for quite a lot. And I have to say, shout out to the Ann Arbor Spark marketing team, because they're a phenomenal group of really, really hardworking, super smart people. Maybe the highest performing group of people I have ever worked with, which is pretty awesome. But yeah, everything from the website, all the content on the website, the back end of the website, um, event production, promotion of those events, e-newsletters. They're going to kill me if they're watching this, because I'm guarantee I'm missing like 10 things. I'm just trying to think of like, what did we talk about today in our team meeting, of what are the basic things. But you know, when you put an event on, for example, like A2 Tech 360, so there's not only the physical event to produce, and you know, securing the speakers, and there's people that do the sponsorships and all that kind of thing, but you know, all the physical assets that are there, all the wayfinding signage and programs and social media and all of that. So yeah, our team does all of that, press releases and, you know, media outreach. And I don't know, what don't we do?
Sounds like you're keeping busy, which is a
But
good
yeah,
thing.
we
Really good
do.
thing.
We do.
So I have one more user question, and the question says, what is the most important trait that can make or break a marketing campaign?
Ooh, it's an important trait. I mean, not knowing your audience for sure, I think is at the core of it. Not if you think that you're speaking to the right person and you're not, right? So if you don't understand who you're talking to, then you're not going to understand why what you're trying to sell them or promote to them is relevant. So yeah, I mean, that's just going to trickle down and tank your entire campaign if at the very heart of it, you don't understand the who and the why. I mean, the who
The who
first,
and the why.
because yeah, it's going to drive the why for sure.
So definitely figure out who your base is and just push toward that
Absolutely
way.
right, because you have to know I mean, everything from what are their pain points, and how is what you are offering any kind of a relief for that or help for that, all the way down to how do they like to get information? Where will they see this? And what, is it social media? Is it a white paper? Is it, an in-person event? There's all so many different ways to get in front of somebody and to share information about a product or an event or a service or what have you. And if you don't understand who that person is, you're also not going to understand how they like to get information and how they are likely to respond to that.
Awesome. So one final question. I know I said it was my last one, but what advice would you give someone who is just starting their career in marketing?
If you don't know in marketing what you want to do yet, which is fair and it's fine, then just be really open. I think open-minded about it and be willing to help with and take on everything that is put in front of you. Take it on as it's a learning opportunity and sort of chalk it up to that. And it might be that you agreed to do, I don't know, I'm trying to think of one of the thousand things that you could do. But it might be that what you signed up for and raised your hand for, you're like, oh my God, I hate that. I would never want to do that again. That's good to know. It's good to know what you don't like just as much as what you do like. So I would say just keep it varied, dive in, use everything as a learning opportunity, keep a mental note of what resonates with you and what doesn't. And I think if the internships are such a fantastic opportunity because you do get thrown into, kind of especially in a marketing internship, I think that it's so much more likely that in a startup community, they might not know really what marketing is, or they might not know what they need from marketing, which is an awesome opportunity then to be able to kind of play a whole bunch of different cards, right? You can do all sorts of different things. And that's really nice, I think, to be able to figure out, oh, I was really good at that, or that was fun, or I didn't love that, but I think I could if I knew more about it. And then it helps you sort of streamline until you figure out what part of marketing you really want to specialize in or double down in, because there's so many different paths you could go.
Definitely. I feel that too, kind of in my journey in marketing, the internships that I did, just the learning experiences that I got out of it. Sure, there was some challenging moments, but now I feel like I'm a more accomplished person because of that. So you definitely have
Yeah,
to just go out there and challenge yourself.
absolutely. Yeah, just don't be afraid of the challenges, and just, if you fall, it's okay. We all do.
Fine.
We all do.
It's a part of the process. It's a part of
It
the
really,
process.
really, really, really is. Absolutely.
Awesome. Well, that actually ends our digital live. So Uh, before we head out, I'd like to thank everyone again for watching our digital live on LinkedIn and our other streaming platforms. Jen, thank you for being here with us. It was great having you on. Good luck with everything at Spark.
Thank you.
And for everyone watching, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Digital Summer Clinic, so you do not miss any of the new updates. Also, don't forget to register for our digital marketing workshop. I posted the link once again in the comments if you're interested and would like to learn more. But again, tickets are selling fast. So if you want to get on it, or you might not be able to get tickets. So our next episode airs next Tuesday, November 15th at 6 p.m. And we'll be joined by Shelby Kyle, a graduate of the Digital Summer Clinic and a current field manager here with the Digital Summer Clinic, including myself, actually, a field manager who is also a graduate from the clinic. And yeah, a field manager. So it'll be an interesting and fun episode you'll not want to miss out on. And to everyone watching, have a great night. We will see you all here next week for our final episode for now. Thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Bye.